Hello. Don't get into that plant pot, Sally. Right. Don't eat the plant, Sam. Hi, good morning and welcome to the potting shed. Sally and Sammy are joining me this morning for a little bit of a treat and to keep me company as I just have a little chat to you about what's going on in the potting shed. Here you go. Oh, you're so good. Do you know, these dogs don't half learn fast. They, I said to them, shall we spend a morning in the potting shed? And they were out of the house, straight over to the potting shed. They knew exactly where I was talking about, didn't you? Didn't you both? This armchair is one that they had chewed the arm on when they were little puppies. So we've got a little cover on it, and it's the ideal spot for them to have a sit down. It doesn't matter if it gets grubby, I can throw a cover over it. But this is where the propagating of seeds is going to take place between now and the spring. Do you know, we're very, very lucky to be able to have this facility. I never ever thought I would have, and here it is, and I'm really glad to be able to share it with you. So I thought I would come here today and talk to you about what I'm going to be doing this month. I have this gorgeous tin, there you go, future amazing plants with loads of seeds inside, and these are the seeds now that I am going to be popping into my propagators this next week. This is my little book that I keep a log of what's going on in my greenhouse, and also this will now include what's going on in the potting shed as well, because God forbid anything happened to me, I would love it for my sons and maybe even my husband to be able to say, what did Elaine find so therapeutic about the potting shed, about the greenhouse? What did she find therapeutic about growing stuff? If somebody had said to me, say 4 or 5 years ago, that I would like gardening, I would have laughed them out of my garden because I had no interest in gardening. My interest came from helping my mum. And you know, as mum has needed more help over the years, every time I visit, I absolutely love helping her in the garden, and she has taught me so much. The love for gardening has gone beyond merely keeping flowers out in a bed out in the front of the garden there. I've taken an absolute joy in growing foodstuffs. It's almost like having an extension of my kitchen with my greenhouse. I use the herbs I grow. I've managed successful potatoes once. My carrots looked like they had been beamed down from outer space. But we're going to try again this year. Now, what am I going to be focusing on this month? On the flower side of things, I am going to start hopefully germinating, or the amaranthus seeds will germinate. The amaranthus, the common name for them are ponytails, and what I'm going to do is put them in a long tray, and once they're hardy and able to go outside, I'm going to put them just outside the front of the potting shed here, so they grow up just below the window, and that's what they look like. So that should be quite an interesting flower to see. And it says easy to grow, and they're an annual, so they're not going to come back next year. They don't normally anyway, but they seem easy, and I can start sowing them outside, would you believe? Under glass and indoors from the end of this month. So this is what I'm going to actually do them this next week when I'm doing these others. So what are the others that I've got? I have got my all year round cauliflower. Okay, and these, once they've started sprouting and are then going to be transferred into a larger sort of bed, they're going to be inside the greenhouse. And this year I've decided on to even in the greenhouse to invest in a form of netting to stop the likes of slugs, snails and butterflies getting in and laying their eggs on the leaves of all the brassicas, because this last year my sprout leaves were absolutely decimated, and I did collect the caterpillars. I do not kill any insect, spider, slug, snail, anything, and people say, well, you're daft, they're going to get in there more and more. What I do or attempt to do is put down natural deterrents, In this little spray bottle here, which I will have to refill, I make my own homemade deterrent. Slugs and snails, they don't like the citrus or garlicky smells. So I make this with a little bit of oil. I soak orange peel in a jar of oil for about 6 weeks. And then when you can smell the citrus on the oil, I sieve it and into another jar, and then I just put little drops of it in here because you don't want it too strong either, it's going to damage the leaves of your plants. So I put mostly water in this, a few drops of that oil with a tiny drop of dishwashing liquid, because that stops anything being able to latch onto the plant, and I just mist around all the plants. It has reduced the sort of insect decimation of my plants, but I am going to invest in nets this year. Also, I have a eco-friendly slug repellent as opposed to a slug killer. They don't like the scent that these pellets give off, so I put them in the base of the pots as well. So hopefully I should have an even better crop of herbs and vegetables this year. The other seeds that I'm going to be putting into my propagators are, that's mixed salad, okay? So in here we have cucumber, tomato, rocket and lettuce. So again, these are going to be put into the propagators, and when they're a little bit hardier, they'll be moved into the greenhouse. And this is the pizza topper. And in this one, we have basil, tomatoes, bell peppers, and again some more rocket. So I won't be short of rocket this year, that's for certain. So those are going to be popped into the propagator. I'll show you my propagator. Here we go. I have 10 of these. Now, I stored these because last year I didn't have this lovely potting shed. So what I did, I stored them in my greenhouse, and it got very warm in the greenhouse and the sides melted. Look at that. So I had to get another box of them. It turns out that these are still functional and okay to use. So what I do, I pop my mixture of soil and compost into here with a tiny little bit of eco-friendly and natural feed. And I pop water in here. This goes into there with the seeds in and the lid on. Now on these cold days, when these do need that little bit of extra warmth or sunlight, because we know sunlight can be pretty rare here in the winter. Just bear with me, Sam's asking for his next treat. Okay, Sambo. You're so patient. Look at you two. I love you. I love you. What I do, I have a phone charger, you know the portable phone chargers you buy, and I attach the cable for this to the phone charger, and it has 5, like a little octopus, 5 leads coming from it, 1 to each lid of the propagator, and inside there it lights up these little artificial sunlight bulbs, and they really do help your plants to grow. I think there are a pack of 5. Now they're really small, but there are 4, 8, 12 little compartments, and I think they were something like €25 on Amazon. Well worth buying. I have had great use out of them, and I have the second box of them there as well. Now with these seeds, I'm just going to pop the actual container. They come apart, so I eat one of those into sort of spike down, and they grow out of here. So and they are compostable, so you don't have to worry about taking them out. You just then transfer the whole plug into the next bed that they're going into. So those are them, and I also picked up these, and these I'm just going to scatter in the front of the garden and in some pots, and I'm going to have, you see, I'm going to scatter them, water them, and have wildflowers growing in amongst my lavender, my foxgloves, my lupins, and they're all just going to, it's going to be a sea of colour as long as they're successful. But I want to put them in pots too. Unfortunately, the soil here is marl clay, so it's not easy to grow stuff in. It suffocates a lot of the plants, so most of my gardening here is done in pots, and it's really, really therapeutic. Now, my neighbour who lives next door here is going to be coming in a couple of weeks' time, and he's insulating this for me, so we won't have these walls. As you can see, there's a membrane, a white membrane on. It's just to keep it that little bit warmer. But what's going to happen is he's going to come in and he's going to insulate it and put wood on it so that we can put shelves up. So it's going to look really, really nice. And of course, I'm going to paint it in here then and move everything out. At this moment in time, I've moved 3 trees into here, which is, you know, quite surprising. 3 trees, because what's happened is, because of the mild weather, they've already started to bud. And the concern that I have is that these buds will be damaged and frozen in this cold weather that we've got at the moment. So I'll turn the camera around. I'll take you over to have a look at the buds that are coming out on them. Excuse my big hands there in the way. Let's just turn this camera around. So you can see I filled the pots with straw to try and keep the roots warm. But if we have a look here, all these pointy little parts here, these are all the start of the buds coming out on this apple tree. This is an apple tree that's had another apple tree grafted to it, and it produces both the Elstar and the James Grieve apples. These 2 here are my fig trees, and if we look here, we can actually see the start of a fig, and all this green growth here all the way through it. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, we've got a little plant growing here. I haven't pulled that out because I'm not sure what it is. And you can see here, you know, if we go further down here, we've more of the figs and stuff. So Sally and Sammy do enjoy the gardening with me, don't you? Don't you, Sambo? And you, Sally Bach? And you, my girl, mucky face pop. You need a bath. So, trees that I have got in here at the moment. I keep a log of everything that grows in my greenhouse, and I will be doing the same here for in the potting shed. And that's it really. All I've got to do now is decide which seeds I'm going to start with first, get out the compost, pop it into the propagator and get going. It's really quite exciting, the prospect of what can happen when you know, when you're gardening, what you can grow and what you can enjoy, what you can add to your plates. My neighbours this side of me, I give them, they enjoy the mint because they love in the summertime having their margaritas. Is it margaritas they have? Not margaritas. What do you call it with the mint? Oh, I can't remember. It's a cocktail anyway. And I give them fresh sprigs of mint for their drinks, and they do like it. I forgot to mention these. My garlic. I've got 2 different types of garlic here. This is straightforward garlic. These are from West Cork, the mild flavour garlic, and that's the Messidrome, and this is the Theodore garlic, and this is mild and sweet, and this one is just a mild garlic. I'm picking up today some strong garlic bulbs and also some elephant garlic bulbs. Now these I will be putting directly outside in the cold because they need that boost from the cold to activate them into growing, and they have a long growing period. I will pop these into the soil this next week, and we will probably be harvesting them around August time. So they do take quite a long time to grow. Now, what have we got? We've got some taro, and I've actually bought my reading cloth out for the potting shed. Shall we see? We'll ask, will the plant growth this next year be as successful as I'd like it to be? But first, we'll let these 2 have their little bit of a treat. There you go, guys. That's it now. All gone. All gone. Now, let's have a look here. I have the Taro of the Abyss. As you will know from previous videos, I've used Taro of the Abyss outside. I tried to take it out in the woodlands, if you recall, and it was a beautiful summer's day, and every time I took it out the wind blew. So I thought, I don't think I'm supposed to read this here today, and I brought them home. But it's all fun and games, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's see. Whoops, oh, that one wants to come out, so that's there. Two of Cups. Working collaboratively with someone. Don't know if it'd be hubby because he's not really into gardening at all. Oh, now we have some interesting ones here, and I'll tell you why they're interesting. Because I need to look after my health a little more. I'm not being as serious as I should be about it. And it's telling me, don't forget, whilst you're doing all this work, to take time and rest. Because I do tend to push myself, and push myself till I'm too exhausted to speak. And I don't want that. But it's telling me to enjoy this. Take time out and rest. The Five of Wands. Make a decision, Elaine. Stop pulling yourself in all different directions. Decide what you're going to plant. Decide where you're going to put it and get on with it. Once you've got a plan and you're not fighting with myself, because that's what I do terribly. Will I plant this? Will I plant this? And then I'll miss the season. And that's not good. That'll happen again if I don't think about things, take a break, think about things and plan it. And also seek advice from others that have a similar interest. Don't be afraid to say, right, okay, this is what I've done. My crop hasn't grown. Yours has. What did you do? Go and ask for help. Ask for guidance. That's the only way we'll learn. Because I'm a little bit stubborn like that. I say, oh no, let's just stick it in the soil and see. No, it has been successful, but equally it's been unsuccessful too. I want to master my potatoes. Potatoes haven't been a success for me. They have once I had a lovely crop of new potatoes, but after that I planted potatoes. They just rotted in the bag, in the potato bag. So I had beautiful flowers. They grew up beautifully. I thought, oh my God, there's going to be a host of spuds in that sack. They grew beautifully, the most gorgeous blue flowers on them. And then you harvest the potato when the plant is dying. So cut the plant away, dug down the soil, one rotten spud that was the spud I was growing the potato, my crop from. So that put me off a little bit, and I need to get my mojo back to doing that. I'm particular about my herbs and some of my crops there. My sprouts I'm going to really enjoy growing this year. I only tried one sprout plant this last year. Like I say, the caterpillars had a feast on it, and I actually went. I was watering all the plants in the greenhouse, and I lifted the leaf, and I went, oh. Because it took me back by surprise, and underneath there must have been at least 30 to 40 caterpillars on one leaf. They were only small, little tiny green caterpillars. No, they weren't green. That was in the plant pot. These were striped black and yellow. So I took them off one by one, and I had this shoebox, and I took them off, and I thought, why am I picking off? Just take the leaf off. So I took the leaf off and I put them all into this box. I lifted another leaf. They were the same amount again. On all the larger leaves, I had well over 100, 150 caterpillars. And I thought, well, I'm not going to euthanize them because I love butterflies. I know they decimate the leaves, and I just can't help enjoying them. So I put them in this box, and I put a little advert on my Facebook page and on our community Facebook page here. If any parents wanted some caterpillars to do the life cycle of the butterfly with their children over the summer holidays, I had caterpillars in abundance. And yes, people came, they took away caterpillars with them, we studied their growth. Now I had to move them from the shoebox because there's far too many of them, and I was giving them, they were well fed caterpillars. I was coming in harvesting the leaves off all my brassicas, popping them in the box, and these caterpillars grew. So although I gave loads away, I kept a few because I just like living things. And I had them on the coffee table. I put the lid on, I poked holes in the lid so they could breathe. And this particular one, it came down, the lid had lifted and had been slightly moved, and there were caterpillars going across my coffee table, and it looked like the coffee table was alive. I can imagine people going, oh my God, Elaine. So I picked them up once again, handled them. They feel so lovely when they're walking on your hands. Picked them up, popped them back into the box, and I thought, no, I'm actually going to have to let these go. So we have a lovely little area that myself and my neighbours got together, and we planted up loads of things. We put insect houses there. So I took them all down and I moved them into there, and we again kept an eye on their progress. And they did. They came, the beautiful, beautiful white butterflies with a black spot on each back wing. It turns out they are cabbage butterflies, and I think the people growing crops around here going, oh Jesus, Mary and Joseph, thank you for that, Elaine. Sorry. But they survived. My son was sitting, he was at home on his own here. Now, he's an adult. And I'm just trying to think where I was. I was out anyway, and I received a phone call. And he said, there's a funny scratching sound somewhere in the sitting room here. So I've looked everywhere, and I can't see where it's coming from. And he said, it just sounds like something hitting against something, just going. And I said, I have no idea. Is there water dripping anywhere? Have a look. Well, he put the phone down. Then I got another phone call. You and your bloody caterpillars, he said. This is a long time afterwards. They'd gone. A lot of them had, changed into butterflies at this stage. He could hear this noise, and he looked down, couldn't see what it was. He turned the TV up, and he was watching whatever program he was watching. And the next minute, this thing flew past his face. He said he nearly had a heart attack. It was a butterfly. A caterpillar must have escaped and gone behind the couch, and cocooned himself there because it was lovely and warm, and of course changed into a butterfly, and it flew out. He caught it gently and let it out the window, but I'm banned from taking caterpillars into the house. Oh, so that's part of the fun and games of enjoying the outdoors. I have to go and sort out the side of the house now. I did have loads of pots stored there, and they've been there since before I got this. So I'm going to put them in under the shelf here, and tidy the side of the house there, and bring my pots down here, because otherwise they're going to get damaged. The wind has blown them all asunder. So folks, that's my chat for the day. I hope you're all going to have a lovely Sunday. I'm actually heading off to a garden centre later on, and I'm going to pick up the other garlic bulbs I want. And I'm also getting a rare flower at the end of the month. When I've got it and it's all going well, I'll share that with you too. So enjoy your Sunday. Take up gardening. It's actually quite good fun. Bye now.